to all the extended Rob's MetalWorks Familia around the world. You are watching Rob's MetalWorks, and it brings me great pleasure to welcome one of the best out of here in South Texas, a band that I'm going to introduce many of you people out there to you, and a band that many of us already fucking love. Yes, brings me great pleasure to welcome the band, yes, my Cerebros, the band Cerebral Desecration. Yeah. Gentlemen! Yeah! Holy shit!
We are home!
Oh my God. What a fucking night we're already having. And it's just getting started. It's just getting started. Oh my goodness. And that was already empty. So for all you bands who want to have a great intro, right here. That's the secret. That's the secret. No, all kidding aside, guys, so great to have you here. I'm so happy, like I said before, we started rolling, to have the whole band here, man. It validates not only our program, but all the great things that you guys are doing in the Texas music scene with your brutality. And that's why we're here, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, excited. The last time I had you guys here was 5 years ago. And just like you guys, so many things have happened with your band in 5 years. So many things have happened as well here at our program. You know, we have so many new followers from around the country and around the world. So I don't want to take for granted that everybody already knows about Cerebral Desecration. So I just want to do a really quick history of the band and the beginning of the band. So for all those people who have never heard of Cerebral.
Beginning of the band, then I got to hand this over to David Machado.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Beginning of the band started in 2009, 2010, first formation of the band. And since then, we've gone through a few member changes and produced our first album. I believe it was 2014, 2012,
Before me.
Yeah, that was the first one we put out. That was the Immortals album. And that was with my brother Javier and, oh my God, Brad. And anyways, that was one of our first albums that we put out, but that's when the band started.
And David, just to reiterate, because I already know, but initially out of San Marcos or New Braunfels? San Marcos. Yeah. Yeah. And for some of you people out there, San Marcos is a little bit north of San Antonio. All right. And David, what would you say? What is the genre of metal that you guys are delivering? What do you call it?
For me, you're going to hear always just heavy metal. There's always been a heavy metal band. That's been the standard for this band. So, love to all the genres. I consider it just heavy metal.
Sure. And that's cool. I mean, there's just some people like myself who we just always like to have categories for everything. That's how our little minds work, you know. All right. So we're here in 2025. So the band has had a long career already. And even in the 2020s, there's been transitions, changes. Just like, all the girlfriends we all go through, they come, they go, they come, they go, all the romantics in our life. But I remember, as of late, though, this lineup, because I know Colin, I know Joe, Kobe, you, of course, as the founder, but Daniel is the newest guy, right? Okay, so I want to give Daniel an opportunity to share about his background a little bit because, Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, you're part of the San Antonio scene, right? You've always been part of the San Antonio scene.
No, actually, I've only lived here for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I've been living in California. My family was here. I came here, and I was I mean, I've played guitar and I played in bands before, but so coming to a city where I didn't know anybody, I didn't even know where to go to see metal.
But you were already a musician. You were a metal guy.
Right, yeah. So I the way I mean, I'm not necessarily proud of this, but I'm like self-taught. I wanted guitar lessons, but I grew up in a really small town, so it's just very difficult to find, especially amongst like Mexicanos. Everybody wanted to play acoustic guitar and like Tejano music, and that's all fine, but that just wasn't me. So I just learned playing using tabs and playing cover songs, like whatever I could get a hold of and like whatever I could actually do. So so then started cover band. That's what we did. But on the side, I was always writing a ton of music, and so I'd show it to some of the guys. And anyway, so moving here.
You're like, I need to get into the metal scene. I got to go to San Antonio.
Yeah. No, I'm really grateful. Yeah. Well, so when I got here in San Antonio, I sold. I was selling a guitar on. I don't know if it was Facebook Marketplace or eBay, and then Bert Buchanan from Beyond Black.
I know Bert. Yeah.
He hit me up and he said, I see this guitar that's a custom shop guitar, and I had bought it from somebody in California. It was a BC Rich, and he said, I know everybody in San Antonio who plays, and nobody would own this guitar.
Right.
So I'm messaging you to find out who you are. So I told him, hey, I just moved here. I'm trying to play. And he said, well, come see my band. We have another guitar player already. So I would go hang out with Bert, and then they needed a guitar player. So then, we started jamming together, and we did like a 3-song EP. It's called Devolution.
With Steve Peña.
Yeah, Steve Peña and Ra.
I know those dudes.
No, great guys.
Yep.
And then COVID hit.
Yep.
And then and Steve Peña actually got really sick.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, he was like deathly sick, and even after he recovered, he was like sick for 2 months. And even after he recovered, he said, "Hey guys, I don't know if I can be in a small space with people," which I can't blame him at all. I would have made the same choice. So we just kind of didn't do anything. And at some point, Bert sends me a screenshot of Cerebral Desecration's Facebook, where they were looking for a guitarist.
Who sent that to you?
Bert.
Oh, wow.
Beyond
Yeah,
Black.
cool. Yeah.
He said, hey, look, like our band's not doing anything.
That's cool.
He said, but I feel like you should do something because you want to.
Oh.
So this is not my personality to put myself out there. And I saw it and I was like, hey, I appreciate it, but it's just not me, I don't know. And he said, hear this song. And he sent me one song. And I heard it, and I was like, it's okay. And he was like, hey, and he said, here's another song. Yeah, he goes, here's another song. And he sent me Washed Away. And so I still had to think about it for a couple of days.
What was your apprehension? Like, why were you not?
So right, I'm about to get there. So in my head, I was thinking, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go out and try out for this band.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be me. Who cares? Like, I'll just give it a try. And then I thought, I'm gonna be really upset if I don't get it. I'm like, my own ego is gonna hurt. Hurt myself. But no, I decided. I messaged David and I said, well, let me see how this goes.
Yeah.
And so I sent him 2 of the songs from Beyond Black, like where my solos were recorded. We recorded with Keith.
Yeah, Keith.
Yeah.
Keith Krause.
Right. So
Yep.
So it was good recording. So and David just sent me like thumbs up. I was like, yeah, okay, all right. But then he had me go over and and I had to go over like 4 or 5 times before they.
We wanted to put people through the ringer. Like
Of
we're
course.
not trying to just like get anybody. We need somebody who's gonna come into this with the mindset that we're here to elevate.
Somebody to put up with David.
Yeah, that's fine. Welcome to the club.
Well, in David's defense,
Hold on.
in
No,
David's defense, it is his baby, so he just wants to be sure.
To get back to what he was saying, I mean, that's the reason why it has gone to the point where Cerebral has progressed in what you got.
Yeah.
You remember when we gave you these tracks?
Yeah.
That were about to, I just remember the warmth you gave us for what he did, and it was all because of Daniel. Daniel was the best thing that could happen to Cerebral at that time.
And that's a good point because, I think sometimes the greatest things that happen in life are unexpected. They just happen, and when you know that the chemistry's right, you just feel it. Right? You just feel it. It's not something you have to make a conscious decision about.
Yes, sir.
So that's great. But Daniel, did you, once you heard Cerebral, was it hard for you to adapt to their music or their writing style? Were you doing stuff that heavy before?
I think I was. I always liked death metal.
I say more so than learning to the music, you had to learn how to deal with all our personalities. More so.
Oh, right.
That's the thing about being in a band.
Sure.
It's the personalities of every member.
Sure.
So, that is a key factor on when people can get along to even be able to make the music you want to make. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why Daniel fit, because he caught on real quick to how we all are, and it didn't bother him.
They're like, oh, this motherfucker's the control freak.
Or not. Or this dude's really laid back, or whatever it is.
For sure.
But we all walked into this with the apprehension of San Antonio's not the end of it. We want to take this as far as it can.
Kobe, we're gonna
fucking
get
go,
there,
dude.
my friend.
I know.
We're gonna get there.
I'm just that's
I know.
the key point to
And
any
that's
member
good.
being in this. Yeah,
You have
yeah.
to, but the thing is, though,
Yeah.
you wanted to make sure that Daniel had that vision as
Fit
well.
the mold, and he did.
He had that vision as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
There's also something that I want to talk about before we get into the record, and that was, I remember I went to like some Cerebral shows, and David, as the founding member, was not there. You guys had like a fill-in guitar player for David. So David, I want to give you an opportunity to share a little bit about why you had kind of stepped out a little bit as the founding member, even though you were like, hey, I'm still part of this band. I just need to take care of some other stuff. Now you're back, and how that all kind of played out. Because sometimes when you go through things like that, it can be difficult. What comes to mind, I think about Dave Lombardo from Slayer. Remember, he left, and then he wanted to come back, and I was like, oh, it's not the same, bro. You left. And then tonight I was telling you a story about a local band where the guy left and then came back and things were different. So how did that kind of happen for you with Cerebral?
It happened kind of at a moment that it was unexpected, and I say that with respect to the guys. I didn't expect for it to happen when it did, and I had to take some personal time away from the band, and I was gone for 4 months. And
Yeah.
I left and went to Florida, and it was doing hurricane relief out there, and
making big bucks.
financially, yeah, it helped me out, of course. But it was for other reasons than that.
Don't worry, your ex-wife's not going to watch this interview.
No, it was at a time where I needed to step away and focus on my family as well. So, and the guys respected me enough to, they were cool with it. And it wasn't easy. It was something that we all had to transition over, and respectfully, when I came back, they understood why after we all spoke.
For sure.
I'll say this. Anybody who's been in this band ever before, even before me, we consider them cerebros. That's a term. We say that to certain fans who always show up or people who support us, but it's also a term of endearment towards anybody who's ever played in this band. So, needless to say, we've all had this vision since the beginning to make this happen. We've had so many different setbacks, member changes, different tragedies, and different shit go on, and that's been like kind of at the foundation of what a lot of our music's about, is fucking getting through this shit and proving to ourselves and everybody who even gives a shit about what it means to make this music that we make. So like him leaving was just like, okay, it's another hurdle. We've been through so many hurdles. We're not going to stop. And David confided completely in us to just take it, do what we've been doing with it, but make it get stronger. And that's always going to be the point.
And I think it's important to give or to mention the guys who kind of stepped in and helped.
Big time.
Big time.
Big shout out to Rob O'Brien.
Rob O'Brien.
Man.
Rob,
dude.
I remember.
Broccoli Rob.
Where was this? I can't remember what show I was. I can't remember what show it was. I think it was the 210 show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Rob was there playing, and then after the show,
David was at the 210
okay, I can't
show.
remember what show it was.
Release. Yeah.
I can't remember what show it was.
It might have been Upon
I
a
remember
Burning Body.
after the show, I think I went up to you, Kobe, and I said, fucking Rob O'Brien rocked it tonight, bro.
Yeah.
He fucking filled in those shoes well.
Yeah. That's homeboy, man. He's been our we'll talk about him later too, but like he went on tour with us too. Like just as a hand. Like, and he helped all three bands. Like he's part of the Cerebros. Oh, hands down. He's one of those members that may not be in the credits, but he's definitely part of the band. And we have a few of those. And a shout out to Alex Davis. Alex Davis. So David left 6 days before we had to open for Soulfly at Come and Take It Live.
Wow.
No bullshit. No bullshit. 6 days before we had to open for Soulfly, and I'm like, we're not canceling. I called Alex Davis, and Alex was like, send me the songs. Well, this guy was like, I'll learn them over the days, and I'll be ready.
Who's Alex Davis?
He's in Chironex.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
And anyway, good friend of mine, but he did it, and he showed up, and he played the show, and he fucking nailed it.
Wow.
Hold on, no, he had a cheat sheet for the first song, but we had more than that, and he kicked him away and said, "Fuck it."
One big surprise.
What? Yeah, go for it.
So the crazy thing about that show is, we're at Come and Take It Live, and Alex comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, bro, just between you and us," he's like, "I haven't practiced these songs once." He's like, "I've been listening to these songs all week." He's like, "I'm gonna go practice them right now." Yes, and he's like, "I got you." He's like, "Trust me."
He's that good.
Well, no, but just the fact that, dude,
he's a phenom.
He's an amazing person, bro. I love the guy, and okay, yeah, we'll get back to him soon, but I just wanted to tell that because when he told me that, I was just like, "You're an animal."
I thought you were going to say, I slapped him in the face.
Yeah, I was just like, God damn it. He told me after the show, so it's like it's after the
Yeah,
full face.
Yeah, and there's some cats who were just like that.
And
there's just some cats who were just like that.
Dan Nahaya, Daniel Labbitt, he helped us write Ghost of Me. And he was before Daniel. He was in the band for a moment. Daniel Labbitt from Nahaya and Painting the Massacre. He filled in for us for 2 shows, and he helped us when David left. So we had 3 different guitarists within like those 4 months he was gone, filling in for us. And it was a hurdle. It was something else, but we were just like, fuck it, like make it happen.
And the same thing for Dan Nahaya. We were playing at Fitzgerald, and Dan called me, and we're trying to get a hold of him, and he's like, "Dude, I'm still at work." And so we're like freaking out. We're like, "Well, what do we do? Do we call Rob?" And then Brian and Derek from Scars are both there too. Well, they're like, "Well, did we go get our stuff?" And we'll just play a Scars set. And then by the skin of his teeth, he shows up like 15 minutes before we go on stage.
Wow.
And yeah, I love Danny too. Danny's my boy, but I love these little things I have about the guitar players because I love all of them, especially Daniel.
Wow.
Everybody.
Wow.
It's a guillotine run, man. And
But
we
now-
constantly chase that blade. You know what I'm saying?
But now, just to verify that Daniel is the permanent guy.
yes. Oh hell.
Daniel
yeah,
is the permanent guy.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
5 years is common law. So.
Yeah, I thought it was 10.
Shit, that's
No, I'd
coming up on
seen
me.
Daniel with the band a few times, so I had figured, this is the guy that
Yeah.
is gonna the lead guy, and then the guy that's kind of coming in and filling in for Dave while he's gone. Dave, I also I know, based upon our conversations downstairs, that I want to give you an opportunity to share what might be forthcoming for you personally, because I think that's important, because obviously Cerebral will stay in the forefront of our scene, and people will see this interview and then say that maybe you're not there again. So do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, by far I'll gladly talk about it.
Okay.
I am going to be
We have
stepping.
not made a post about
Yeah,
this.
this is going to be the
This
first.
is an exclusive.
Yes, sir. This is the first that's being said. Me and the guys have been talking in the last few weeks, and I told them, personally that I'm going to have to step down from Cerebral, and but I'm not going anywhere. I'm stepping away to take care of some personal business on my part. I got respectfully with my family and everyone involved, but I am not going anywhere. And in the meantime, I just want to say that we're going to have a couple guys that are going to be coming and filling in while I'm out. They're going to be Cerebrals forever. They already have been, just with the meetings we've had as fucking buddies. You know what I mean? So Robert O'Brien will be filling in for some shows to end out the year. And also Alex Davis is going to be filling in for some shows to fill out the end of the year as well. So we're not not going off the scene whatsoever. We're still going to be writing music. I'm consistently writing at home.
Even though you're not actively playing with the band, you're still playing your guitar and writing
Yes, sir.
jams.
Yes,
Of course.
yes, sir.
Of course.
So I'm going to be officially. I'm just saying here live with Rob. I told Rob downstairs, you're the first person that we're telling outside the brothers that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
All our families know. So thank you for
Well,
giving me that moment.
I appreciate that I have your
I'll
confidence.
be back.
Yeah. How long? I have to ask. How long do you anticipate you'll be out?
Through the end of the year. Through the end of the year for
Oh,
sure.
okay. That's not that long, man. Hell no. It's time. As fast
Through
as
the end
time
of the year for
seems
sure.
to be going by.
Through the end of the year for sure.
It's crazy. Like I wake up and I'm drinking coffee with my girl on Monday, and then the next thing I know, it's fucking Thursday. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Where did the week go? Yeah, it goes going by so fast.
You may see me in one of these shows before the end of the year.
All right, let me know which
I'll
one.
let you know which one.
Let me know
I'll
which
let you know
one.
which one.
David's always said, he's like, man, I've always wondered what it's like to stand in the crowd, so you'll finally get a chance if you want to,
Hey, I will invite you out to one of the shows that these guys are going to be playing.
Yeah.
That I won't be able to be there to perform, but I will be there and support them.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'd like for you to be there with me, brother.
Okay, let me know. We'll
got
talk
you.
about it later.
Yeah.
We interviewed for Further Than the Bottom in 2020, and I thought that EP was amazing. I love that EP. There's so many good songs on it.
Thank you.
The
That's a huge
artwork was
compliment.
great. And that's why I wanted to interview for it. Looking back now, how do you feel that EP established Cerebral in the scene?
I think, for one, like, David said it once me and Joe joined back then, like, he was like, this is the version of Cerebral I've been waiting for, in a sense. So I think for us, it's a good foundation of where this band stands. And yeah, that was, 2020, 5 years ago. But it's a good foundation for when we started with the new members. And that was with Brian Eckerman for that stint. He helped us with that record. So mad love to Brian. But it was just, that was one of the hurdles going through when we had to do some member changes. But ultimately it was for the best because we all can look back at that record and we feel like, man, at that point in time, that's the best shit we could have created out of that little room that we were in. So Further Than the Bottom was a definite way, I feel like. That's why it's technically because they have 2 records before we joined. But you know, with not having control of masters and different things like that, we kind of kept it to where, you know, Further Than the Bottom's kind of the start of where you could find music for Cerebral, just because of that.
That's what I kind of think. To me, at this point, you know, and not to diminish the history of Cerebral.
Not at all.
But like the Kobe era, to me, is the beginning of the real Cerebral. That's just how I just have it in my mind. You know,
even our old vocalist before Kobe, he said that he told me the same thing. He said that.
Mad love to Jeff. That's a homeboy, dude. That's a homeboy. Cerebral for life. But even when I was in Wings of Abaddon, I had a song with them. I always supported Cerebral before I was in it. So it was a natural fit. And it was actually like the second time we conversated about me being a singer in the band. Because Jeff, originally, before he joined, I was asked, but I told him I was too busy at the time. Yeah. But that second time, I took the advantage. But anyway, Further Than the Bottom, I feel like, is a good standing point for what this project is coming from. It
laid a great foundation.
Yeah.
I mean, that EP will live forever, and it to me, it's like a great foundation. Good songs, and you know, I think those songs are everlasting, man. I love them.
Hell yeah!
I still I was jamming them all day to day. All right, so as we got into the 2020s, I kind of felt that it was cool to see you guys kind of continuously kind of putting some music out, new music into the market. So in 2021, we had The Ghost of Me, which I love that song.
Hell yeah.
I love that fucking song. I was like, man, this is so fucking cool. And then you guys did a couple of singles in 2023, A New Form, and then another song that I really love, This Shed of Skin. Great song. So I thought, yeah, these guys, you know, they know what the fuck they're doing. Because we live in such a new marketplace now, right?
Oh, man.
A totally different new marketplace. And as long as you're releasing new music and singles into the market, people can continue to talk about Cerebral and listen to your music, and you continue to stay relevant. So why was it important for you to continue to have music in the market?
Well, with constant member changes, like after Further Than the Bottom, Brian, you know, fulfilled his part that he said he would do. Brian never said he was going to be permanent. You know,
right.
He was just like, I see you guys are in a tough spot. I know how good you guys are, and you deserve it. Plus, me and Joe have such a history with him that he was just like, I'm here for you. I'll help you get the record out, and we'll play shows, do whatever. He played the Black Dahlia Murder show, fucking Nightbringers when they did that tour. And that was just like, we had that on the plate when all of that happened. So he was huge. And then, mixed the album, helped us release the record and everything else. And he wrote shit, the song Sadistic Humans Inflicting Torment. That song Brian wrote for us and gave us those riffs and was like, it's a Cerebral song. I wrote it for you guys. And we fell in love with it and put it on the record.
How gracious.
Yeah, dude, big time, man. And you always call him the mastermind, and he really fucking is.
I always do call him the mastermind.
But after Brian did his part and he paid his dues to us,
like, yeah.
And he was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
We had Daniel Abbott. And
Go
Daniel,
live your life, Cerebral.
Yeah. Daniel Abbott came in, and God, what a fit he was. Like, Danny was great. Like, we all loved him. His personality, like, he fit well. And he helped us write Ghost to Me. Like, that whole solo is Danny and everything else. And he's in the music video. If you go see it, we recorded at my father's property and all that. Like, he was integral too. And then once Danny had to take his moment away, you know, and he's like, I'm out. That's when we did the tryouts. We got Daniel. And from that point in time, we were just like, all right, yeah, we need to start releasing some tracks because all we have is this album that has 2 guitarists to go, you know? And so we released Ghost to Me, did a music video for it because that's all we had at that point. And then Danny took his exit. We got him, and immediately he showed us a new form. And that was probably the first song that we wrote together. Mm-hmm. And it fit. It was like that gut punch that we've all been wanting to write.
Right.
Yeah.
You just come to know and love. You just know when it feels right.
Yes.
The chemistry's right.
Yes.
So you guys did those three singles, and then now as we sit here in 25, culminating with a body of work, this EP. Was that always the plan?
With all the member changes, because you got to think it's like years of time, because we play a lot of shows, and it's hard to write in between those with member changes and stuff, and still getting used to each other. So the songwriting slowed down for us because we were just trying to get our name out there with what we released, and we were, moving parts.
What we weren't able to do during COVID.
Yeah, especially that, because COVID hit, and everything else after that. So it was this trickle-down effect of like, well, we don't want somebody to influence so much of the music and not really like be in it. And that's when like we did our tryouts, and Daniel, our main thing was like, you have to be in it. Like you can't just say you want to do it and do this for 6 months. Like you're committing. Like you're marrying us, and like it's a marriage. It really is. A band is a fucking marriage. And so if we all can't get along and coexist, and that's why we had so many tryouts. It was just to make sure like that it was the right fit, because we wanted to not have to do this again, right?
Of course.
So once he came in, he showed us some riffs, and we were like sold. And from that point, Daniel is a huge part of a new form, and Suffering Bliss, that's his baby, and we turned it into what it is. And oh my God,
we're gonna get there.
Yeah, and Joe is the writer of the title track, Empty Black. And that song we've had since we've had Shed of Skin. Yeah. But it's had so many different renditions since then because of the changes and everything else. And yeah.
Okay, so the new EP came out on February 26, 2025. So all you people out there who have not yet seen the brand new EP from Cerebral Desecration, it is called Empty Black. It's out on all your music media outlets right now. Be sure to look for it. Right after you watch this interview, download it and jam it.
Bandcamp.
Just like we do. Yeah, Bandcamp. Mm-hmm. I love Bandcamp.
Hit me up. I'll send you free goodies if you order enough shit.
There you go.
Got all
mention Rob's MetalWorks.
Mention Rob's MetalWorks. I'll give you a free merch item. Something that's not even on the site.
Say you saw the interview. Yep, there you go. So
bet. I'll take it. What? I'll take the 14, orders, whatever.
So the brand new EP, Empty Black, has the 3 previous singles that I mentioned: The Ghost for Me, A New Form, This Shed of Skin, and 2 new songs, the title track, Empty Black, and then, of course, Suffering and Bliss. So I want to give my man Joe an opportunity to talk. As you just mentioned, he had a big part with the title track. So can Joe share a little bit about the track Empty Black, and then how did you convince these guys to say this is going to be the title track? Because it could have been any other song.
Well, I mean, yeah, as you know, Suffering Bliss was gonna be the actual title track. But Empty Black, I wrote a bunch of riffs.
You said if it's not Empty Black, I'm quitting the fucking band.
No. I had a bunch of riffs. I slapped them all together. I showed the guys, and I was like, "Hey, let's cerebrify it." You know what I mean? Let's make it into a Cerebral Desecration song, and
very hard process.
Which, yeah, I'm a little hard-headed in my ways, and I was like, it has to go just like this. But it turned out perfect. I love it. These guys ended up loving it as well, just as much as me, and so it became the title track.
Ultimately, for the title track of that EP, it was supposed to be Suffering Bliss, yes. But we got a piece of artwork, and it was perfect. It was great. It resembled what that song was about. But I think we all were like, well, we need something just a little different. Yep. They wanted to see something different, and so I outsourced. And when we got the artwork for Empty Black, that's when we were like, well, fuck, that's the title track, or that's the name of the album.
There you go.
Like, it was too good to not have on the front. So
I think that the marketing strategy for release of new music is always very vital and important.
Big time.
And I like how you guys did it. You know, you had these 3 singles, and as fast as people consume and as fast as people's attention span goes by the wayside, you know, those singles that you released in 21 and 23 kind of got like a rebirthing in 25. Like, if you missed these singles, here they are again in our EP. Yeah. And I'm sure there was a lot of people who like had never heard those songs before. Right.
They've never been on record before, so
it was so cool that you were like, okay, we're gonna put them. Because you could have just said, we're going to leave those. I've seen bands do this where they just leave those singles behind and then their EP just has new stuff. Mm-hmm. And those singles are just lost in the history of, you know, the wind. They never get revisited.
Yeah, no, Empty Black.
And it's a waste because you put so much hard work into them.
Big time. So the title's kind of a double entendre. Like, there's a real meaning behind it. But the other thing is, like, during those 5 years before we're at this point, you know, and building what we have with Daniel, it wasn't Empty Black because we didn't know what the canvas was going to fully look like. You know what I'm saying? So it started to grow what it really meant for us as a band and why we would name it that. And then we got the artwork, and it was just kind of like these puzzle pieces just fitting together perfectly. And it's like, well, argue this back to me why it wouldn't be, and no one could. So we were just like, well, fuck it, that's it. And yeah, man, like it was a cool process, but ultimately we just didn't want to turn our back on what we've already done. We were like, no, it's going on the record, whether it's the same studio that we recorded at or not. All of them were recorded at Dead Room except Ghost of Me. Ghost of Me was recorded with Danny Nahaya at his house. And also finished up with in his garage. Also finished up with Brian Eckerman at Bone Spill. So that was the last touch Brian had on Ghost, was helping us with Ghost of Me. Yeah, but
which is coming out on his new compilation.
Yeah, he's got a new compilation.
The Bone Spill recording.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah. But I would like to add that we argued. Like how
like a married couple.
Cerebral never argues, right? No, we argued about how we should do the songs. So it was like, are we going to? So we recorded this. We're just gonna hold on to it, and then we're gonna so it's just a lot of different opinions. But I think in the end, everybody decided, look, release a single. Wait a little bit, release another one, and then we'll record another one. And then we'll put it all together, and we'll have maybe 1 or 2 more extra. Like revive the other ones, you know. So That's
a good strategy.
No, we definitely had it out, and but we had it out and we survived those times. Yeah. So it was definitely not just everybody agreed and we moved on. Like we struggled with it, and that's what we came up with. So I'm glad that you like that, because I thought that was
I mean, it's so important because, you know, I think sometimes bands can either do a disservice to themselves by ignoring, you know, quickly just consuming their own work, or cannibalizing their own work by, you know, just talking about new stuff when their old stuff came out 2 weeks ago. It's crazy.
It's what the industry kind of trains people to start doing now because of social medias and all that, and streaming, and no one buys records really anymore. Everybody's just kind of looks it up and listens to it. So that's why like on our Bandcamp, like every time someone buys something, I give them free tracks, because it's just like, you're gonna hear it for free. Probably anyway. So the fact that you're listening is good enough for me, right? Like that's the cake. That's the cake to me. So. And we always say, everyone's always like, what's your favorite thing to sell? Shirts, the rolling papers, the fucking, you know, hats and all that. I said, no, it's when people buy the CD, because that's when I know, like, someone's really buying into the message of what we are. So
But I also think that the lure is, and so you ask us questions, but I want to ask you a question.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna. He's like, cut. No, no. So, I feel like the lure is like, oh hey, here's if you haven't seen us, listen to the music, but I feel like the intensity when you see us live is different, and so I don't know. Feel free to say no, it's not. But how? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I mean, well, what happens, when you listen to the record and then you go see the band live, I mean, this is something that's been part of my whole life. When you go see the band live, you get a real incarnation of the tracks, because they're rough and they're raw and they're live. They're not all polished up, and then you get to see the band perform. So it brings them to life. I'm not sure if you guys recall, but I was in Austin at the Come and Take It, and I shot that show, the Crypto show.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a great performance. I think I shared that video a few days ago.
Yes, you did.
That was a great performance. Dave was there, and I think Daniel. That was the first time I'd ever seen you play with the band.
Yeah, we actually spoke about that.
Yeah, we spoke about that. It was cold that fucking day. We were in my car, freezing our asses off. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it just brings it to life, and you feel you see and you feel the energy and the magic.
I always said, catching us live, if we're not kicking you in the teeth, we're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to kick you in the teeth, but metaphorically, like, rock your shit. Like, make you go, what the fuck? Like, that's been my approach with any band I've been a part of, because you pay to see a show. You don't pay to just see somebody run through a rendition of their song. So, I try to emphasize whatever I can to make it as fucking intense as it can be, because that's what this band's about, is intensity. And
Yeah.
Playing live, I remember early on when I was doing shows with Cerebral, Kobe and I made a promise to one another, and that was that every time that we go on, no matter what the circumstances, you give every breath, every drop of sweat, every ounce of energy that you have. We made that promise, and that was years ago, and I feel like we keep it. That's our attitude, and I feel like that's kind of Cerebral's mantra.
Yeah. I know Kobe's always sweating.
Oh, dude, I fucking...
I got it on. I got it on tape.
Smell it in my mic. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, I gotta change that motherfucker. Like, dude, think about it. Smoking and drinking
just don't
and
breathe
sweating
on David.
and screaming. It's like fuck.
Hey, but cheers to that. Cheers to Kobe's mind.
No. On top of that, cheers to 30 years of Rob's Metalworks. Tomorrow is 29 years. Tomorrow is 29 years. This date next year will be 30 years, and holy shit, cheers to you, Rob.
Thank you,
man.
sir.
Thank you for having us, bro.
Very much so, man.
Ay.
So, the first single was "Suffer in Bliss," and we talked about this downstairs.
It's a good song.
I love It's such a good song that I'm unaware that it's 7.5 minutes long. That's a long fucking song, bro.
It is. In this day and age, people's attention spans being 3 to 4
How did that
minutes.
song become 7.5 minutes long?
This guy. I mean, ultimately, like,
I know it has like the intro and it builds up, but even like the Washed Away does the same kind of format. It's only 5 minutes. This one is 2 more minutes.
yeah, it's what we call gold when you're in a band. And every band musician that's in a band knows, like, gold is when you have a riff, and if you don't repeat it, it's a shame. So that's what that song was it was a fucking bunch of gold. And I was like, do it again, run it back. And so that's why there's 3 verses and 3 pre-choruses. Yeah. So it's a ride. Yeah, go Colin.
And you know what? Hold on real quick. But you know what the beauty of it is, as a fan, as a listener, I dig it. It doesn't get old.
Hell yeah.
I love the ride. Like you said, I love it. I'm digging it.
Well, it's like Orion from Metallica.
Yeah, exactly.
It's over 9 minutes long, but you don't even notice.
Yeah.
Because you're just involved.
Yeah.
Holy Wars from Megadeth is, I don't know what, 7+, I think.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. But the greatest thing about Suffer is that you feel it, especially the build up to the solo, because the solo is so powerful.
Yeah.
Because just like the way Daniel laid it out, but then the way David fought Daniel for
what?
Yeah, well, yeah, not literally. Well, no, but no. But just to get the, just the rhythm that's behind his solo, and then not even that, but just me and Joe, because rhythm section, you got to make that impact, and just especially with that song, that solo, it's just like every time I hear it, even myself, we wrote that song, and it's like I get goosebumps during that section of the song, just because I love Joe.
It's a great song that is immortalized now, and it sounds great on my computer and in my stereo in the MetalWorks room. You alluded to Clifton and Dead Room Recordings earlier. Yeah. You guys have been working with him for quite some time. What is it about working with Cliff and the process that you enjoy?
Well, for me, I feel like I get the most, attention. I get the most.
He gives a lot of attention to the drums.
I get the fulfillment. I feel like I get it more than these guys, because I get Stone Creek, I get Clifton, and the last session we did for the two singles.
Yeah.
We almost had 30 mics mic'd up on that drum kit, man. And then
he does Dead Room, but he does the drums at Stone Creek. Is that the process?
I'll sum up Clifton Miles in one sentence. He told us one time, and it made perfect fucking sense. He goes, you can go to McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King and get the burger you want, or you can come to me and get the gourmet shit. And flat out, that resonated with me. Yeah. And he did things with his drums, their guitars, and Joe's bass, and even my vocals that I haven't been challenged. Besides Brian Eckerman, Brian pushes me like a motherfucker, but that's vocals. But like for the full band, because we told him, like, when it comes to us recording with you, we need you involved, like, wholeheartedly, because your opinion to us stands. Like, it's what we want, and he gives that to us. Yeah.
He actually helps you and produces
yes.
while you're writing it.
And that's what separates him from anywhere else, because anywhere else will just charge you by the hour and take your money and record you for what it's worth, instead of being like, well, what if you tried this? What if you did this? I know you've had this song this long, but what if you put it through this amp? Or what if you use this bass? Or what if you... He's a fucking mastermind. And anybody who's not using Dead Room is literally not trying out some of the best shit that, recording-wise, in this city that you can get.
Right.
But also shout out to Mac Damon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mac Damon.
Because
Stone Creek.
Yes, Stone Creek. But they have a specialty drumbrella that goes over the whole drum kit. Yeah, it's phenomenal. But
getting a boner on camera.
Stop.
Man, come on.
But I felt like that was the first time I actually truly heard what my cymbal sounded like. I was like, oh my god, it's like, wow, amazing. Yeah, but Clifton. So with these last two songs, we're like, all right. So we spent a whole night just setting up the drums, setting up the mics, tuning everything, getting samples. We're not even starting yet. We're just doing all the back work just to get in so we can record. And the next day we're like, all right, you got 8 hours to do Suffer and Empty Black, and. Clifton pushes me. He's like, I'll be playing, he'll stop. He's like, nope, do it again.
It's not bullshit.
Yeah. Clifton, he's like, I know you can play better. Stop. And then each time I've gone to Clifton, he's just like, bro, I love that every time you come back, he's like, you've progressed so much from the last time I had you.
Yeah, yeah.
And he anticipates. He's like, I can't wait till you come back this next time to see how much further and how much better it's gonna be.
Sure.
But
sure.
yeah, Clifton just he's such a big process to what we put out, and he helps capture the every every
magic.
detail, every moment.
Yeah.
We're expecting a discount now.
I love you, Clifton, man. I've known that dude since high school. Me and Joe both. We went to high school with him, so
yeah.
He once I introduced him to the guys, it was over. Like we knew where we wanted to go.
Cliff's a great guy, and he continues to do good work in our scene. Let's talk about title and lyrical themes for a second. Kobe, should I assume that you do all that?
I do.
Okay, so talk about the title "Empty Black."
So
and as you talk about it like cohesively for the thematical for the record. What are we saying here?
Well, that's a personal song. Personally, like lyrically, I wrote that a long time ago with Joe at his house because he had it recorded, and it was way before it was a Cerebral song. I've had this pretty much 85% of the same lyrics transferred over to this version of it, but I don't know. It was about 3.5 probably. It was a long time we've had it. But anyhow, that song was during like an alienation in my life where I kind of, I went through some personal stuff and had to kind of get my groundwork going. And I felt like I was like digging through an empty black, so the lyrics wholeheartedly are about like, it's kind of like Further Than the Bottom. Because I wrote that too at a very difficult time in my life. But I was like, what's further than the bottom? And I was like, the empty fucking blackness.
Is it like you just don't see the light?
Exactly.
You don't see yourself coming out of the darkness.
You know how you can get deep into your own thoughts and like you're like, I'm fucked, and that's all you could say to yourself. And everybody who talks to you is you're still like, I'm fucked. Like it's kind of like that. And I used Joe's song to get that out. And then once it was there, I was like, well, fuck, let's show the guys. And the guys, they loved it, but they were like, man, this is like weird shit. Because it's a weird verse. It really is. It's even hard for like when I first wrote it to write it. Because I was like, God damn, Joe, what are you doing here? But
Joe kind of gave you.
He had the whole fucking song. The only thing that wasn't there ultimately is like some of the stuff he's doing lead wise.
Let's give Joe an opportunity to share on that too. So, Joe, talk a little bit about what you were feeling for that track. I mean, I don't want to dig in deep into your fucked up life. I'm just kidding.
So I was shooting for like heavy, fast, but wasn't cerebral, but also was cerebral. So when I was writing this, I just, like I said, like I wrote a couple of riffs together, and I would make maybe half a song, and I'd be like, oh, well, let's do some of this. And I'd forget about that song all and completely and start writing something else. And then show the guys, hey, we got a song. And we wrote it completely. And I wanted a heavy, epic, something right, something with feeling, right, but also was super hard. And that's what
the raw version to what is played now. You see how it just transpired into it very beautifully. I mean, what he wrote to what actually came out at the very end was very similar, but I mean, it was cerebrified. Yeah, he says it all the time. Everybody says it. It's got to be.
Anybody who's wrote a song for us, like Brian doing shit, he had to cerebrify it because we were like, it has to sound like it's still us.
I think at this point, because you've been able to maintain a pretty solid lineup, except for the lead guitar player. Yeah, I mean, you guys know what cerebral is.
Yeah,
you guys know, and especially Joe. So, yeah, that's cool, man. That's good. I always like to get a little deep with regards to I said this not too long ago where when musicians suffer, that's when they produce the best music.
It really
man.
is, man. Like,
Joe's.
as a lyric
Not that
writer,
I wish you keep suffering, but goddamn, bro, I love your music, man.
Yeah, as a lyric writer, like I have to tap into some shit, even if I'm not like there, like in my life, I have to like tap into when I was.
Wow.
So it's a process for sure. For sure.
JB, if you were a songwriter, you'd be writing a lot of hits, bro. Wow. I saw this somewhere, and the statement was that Empty Black represents a culmination of the changes the band has undergone in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means like Brian and Danny and Daniel, so it culminates like that's because Brian also was kind of helping us write Shed of Skin back in the day. Like that was the first track.
Danny also.
And Danny, yeah, actually you're right. Yeah. Everybody kind of touched it, but it was never like a finalized version.
Sure.
And so ultimately, like it was a culmination of what we've all been through over the past 5 years. Because even in those 5 years, like you had COVID, and then like during COVID, like I went through a divorce, so I took 2 months, and then like Colin had some stuff where he took like 4 months, and then Joe had babies and marriage and everything else.
Damn,
and there were hurdles, and we would take our break. We would take our break, but we'd come back every time like fist swinging, like it was a few months. It was never like a full year.
Yeah.
But we hit hurdles, and we'd be like, okay, and hell, like speaking of, like Joe couldn't even make our first half of our first tour that we did, the Texas Takeover. Rob O'Brien played bass, who played guitar.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why I like Rob's clutch. Like he's part of Cerebral, whether he's in the picture or not. Like that's a bro. And so yeah, it's like the that's why like David stepping away. We went on tour without Joe. Like David stepping away,
Wow.
we're like, we gotta make it fucking happen.
Wow, yeah.
And so that's the key. Like not letting anything stop us.
Those moments in a band, or in a family, or in a video show, are always scary, precarious times. And I think we're able to appreciate how strong we are when we come out on the other side.
Damn right.
Right? This is the thing. We still believe in the vision of what we are.
Yes.
Whether you're a band or a video show or whatever.
Yes.
This is the vision. This is our goal. And nothing, or these little nuances or these trials or these problems is going to sway us from that.
Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
And so when you have member changes or whatever, we are still working towards that goal. And
That
vision.
same objective, yeah.
Same objective.
And not changing too much from what we've started. So we only want to evolve it the right way and not like, completely change it and stuff like that. So
we talked about this downstairs. And I think the visual is so important, just as important as a band name. But I've always loved you guys' artwork. We were talking about the artwork for Empty Black downstairs, but I really like the artwork for the single of Suffering and Bliss.
Oh man,
that Dewey did. And Dewey, everybody in the fucking San Antonio scene knows
Genocide
you, bro.
artwork. If you're not using them, he's
from Indonesia, right?
Yeah, he's a workhorse when it comes to the artwork, and he does good shit. And
Very accommodating.
Yeah, very accommodating
and feasible.
Yeah.
Feasible.
I actually talked to him on the phone,
What?
Yeah, messenger.
Get the fuck out.
When he was going through a fucking hurricane and shit, and like shit was flooding in Indonesia.
What was he saying? Dave, can I go live with you?
I was just making sure that he was okay, and he was calling me. And we were talking.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would have been like, Dewey, make sure your computers are not fucking in the water, bro.
He gets excited every time we use his artwork. He gets so
what if I
excited.
need some artwork from you?
Yeah, he's such a good dude. He's such a
kidding,
he's
dude.
got a lovely family and everything else.
I don't
so-
know anything about that, dude.
Yeah, dude. Everything that you buy when it comes to artwork, it goes towards feeding his kids and his wife. Like he's a fucking workhorse, dude.
Fucking like $100 piece of artwork that we buy from him is like fucking $5,000.
it's a masterpiece. I know.
Yeah, he does great work.
Yeah.
He's done work for Rob's. He's done a couple of logos for Rob's.
Hey, I don't.
Yeah, he
I
does.
don't blame you for
and
using
some
them.
really cool shit.
He'll actually work with you under budget.
Yeah.
He'll give you some really good artwork.
Yeah, he's great. So Dewey did the Suffer and Bliss
that was a process.
artwork, and I
Yeah.
love it because you have the fucking people with the caps and they're on their phones. It was like it was so cool, man. It's like
just sitting there.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
sucking the life out of you, bro.
That song.
yeah,
Man.
but you were telling me, and I want you to reiterate for the people about the cover for Eternity Block that you chose. I mean, sorry, Empty Black. The cover work, the artwork.
Or Suffer and Bliss.
No.
Empty
Black.
And so we got the Suffer and Bliss artwork, and we all loved it. But
From Dewey.
Yeah, from Dewey. Like we've used him thousands of times. So, the guys loved it. They were like, that could be it. But what else can we find, right? So
What's the next step to
Sure.
just to take it to like we're progressing,
Sure. You can, it's easy. It's easy for people with artwork or music or video production or whatever
To use
to
AI
just get used to
or-
what you've always done, right?
Yeah.
And you say, hey, let's just push the envelope now.
yeah.
Right.
I had a drunk night at Bone Spill Studios with Brian Eckerman, and he mentioned to me Nick. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and please forgive me if I'm not, Nicholas, but it's Niklas Sunden. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that dude does like artwork for
Where's
like
he from?
I couldn't tell you where he's from. I know it's Europe, but he does all the artwork for Dark Tranquility. He does their music videos.
Oh, okay.
Like he's like in it. Like he's
He's
legit. And he's done a bunch of different artworks for different people. And if you're not following him, he does some really cool abstract shit. Like really cool. Well, I reached out to him just out of curiosity, and he is pricey for sure.
Sure, he's an artist.
It's like going to a Da Vinci in a sense.
Sure.
So I reached out to him, told him what I wanted. He showed me some images, and it didn't really reflect what I wanted or what I felt would be something I presented to these guys for Empty Black. So anyhow, he hits me up 2 weeks later, and he sends me what you see on the album cover, but without logos. Granted, there was like maybe a little bit of less detail, but I was just like blown away immediately, and I was like, "Yo, all right." Like he nailed it,
Yeah.
So I showed the boys, and they were all like, "Yes, get it. How much?"
Yeah.
And that was the
Take
fun
it out
part.
of the fucking.
Yeah, that was the fun part. But we made it happen, and that's the cover. And you don't spend that kind of money unless you plan on like making it front and center.
I love it.
Yeah. So we compared the two. And I was like, well, we still can't not use Suffer and Bliss. So we made a shirt. We made it the first single before the EP came out.
Right.
And we wanted to make sure like that artwork had its dues. So
Yeah, it's great, and I think the visual is always very, very important.
and that literally is what the song's about.
Yeah, beautiful. Now,
Right.
I want to talk about where can fans get Empty Black? Where can they get it?
Where can they get it?
Yeah.
Bandcamp and all of your like any of your streaming services. YouTube, you can stream the whole album. You could buy it from us at a show. And like I said, I do all the Bandcamp orders. So like I try to personalize each one and like send a message and different things like that. But yeah, like you can find us everywhere.
Sorry, quick note. We're going to have to write a song that has eternity in it now. Because what is after the Empty Black now, Kobe? So now, how much further do we go?
Eternity Black. But so if you're saying that people can get at the show, you have hard copies.
Oh yeah, hands down. And we hope to eventually, like, once we accumulate enough money from what we've bought, we want to make actual records.
I want to buy one.
Yeah,
when you get a vinyl, I want to buy one.
We're gonna do a vinyl of it, and you know that's a process in its own
buy
for
one.
an unsigned and totally independent band. But we're gonna make fucking records because, you know, we're all about what our merch representation is. So that's why you can buy fucking rolling papers from us. Like,
yeah.
I find anything I can brand it, and I'm like, who would buy this? Like, fucking everybody. Who doesn't smoke weed?
Tobacco, right? It's just for tobacco.
You say that. It's coming.
I'd
Reform time, baby. Woo! Nah. Yeah.
We're responsible musicians.
Very.
I want to thank you, Kobe, for, you know, a couple months back you brought me all the Cerebral goodies, and I got my hard copy CD, and I got my papers, and I got a shirt, and I love all that stuff. You know,
tobacco.
There's a lot of people, you know, who I think are still into tangible things. You know, they want a hard copy CD in their hand, or they want a vinyl in their hand. So I think that, to me, I think that's still important. I'm glad to hear that you feel it still is important.
Anything I can put my name on and mass produce it and people want it, like, why the fuck not? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it patches, like, where can I slap my logo? Because I feel like what I'm doing is worthy enough to be wherever you're going to put it. So we put it on anything. Like, that's why that's why I made the papers. Like honestly, like, that was a decision that came kind of from me, and the guys were kind of like, okay, yeah, and I just did it. Like, and I said, look, check this shit out, and everybody's like, what the fuck? Like,
let's talk about shows now. Let's talk about shows.
Our favorite thing.
We have to start by talking about the regional tour from earlier this month. Intensity in 10 cities, man.
Oh man. So before we get to that, our first tour ever was Texas Takeover, and it was all around Texas. 7 days straight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony and Jen Holt. Jen Holt, we were the representation of San Antonio on that tour. And it was 7 different cities of Texas and 7 different bands from Texas, and we all went on the road together. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Shout out to Death of a Dream.
Yeah.
But
I love Death of a Dream.
Yeah. Of the Fallen.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, those are homies. Well, from that day, from that day on that tour, we met Alex Davis. Alex Davis is in Chironex, and at that time they were only an instrumental. They didn't even have a vocalist.
Wow.
But they played at our Houston date, and we befriended him and everything else. So further down the road, we did another run that was kind of just Texas and New Mexico. Oklahoma got canceled, sadly. But it was called Friends in Low Places. And so we hit the road together, and we had such a good time. Like, we were on separate vehicles or whatever. That's when the whole time we were on that tour, he was talking about the intensity in 10 cities. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of funny because
intensity in 10 cities.
He got it from Wayne's World.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but this is the weird thing. So, like, we do the Friends in Low Places, which is a shout out to, like, country music.
Yeah.
My friend. Yeah, so we did Intensity in 10 Cities, and fucking weirdly enough, that's a Ted Nugent live record. He didn't know that. He didn't. He got it all from fucking Wayne's World. But we were like,
and then Wayne's World got it from Ted Nugent.
So everybody's like, why are y'all keep naming your tours after country shit? Like, we're like, we had no idea. I mean, I knew about the Friends in Low Places, but the Intensity in 10 Cities, man, that was us kicking doors down and being like, you know what? Like, a label's not behind us representing us. There's no any kind of representation except ourselves, and we went out there on our own dime and just played shows wherever we could plug our shit in and prove a fucking point.
What were the 10 cities?
Los Angeles.
But right before we get there, but when we first met, Alex and the guys, we showed up to the venue, and I'm warming up, and then I hear their drummer warming up, Nick. I hear Nick warming up just with his rudiments, and I was like, oh my god, these guys are gonna fucking destroy us.
You're talking? He's from Chironex?
Yes, he's the drummer. I love that guy so much. I call him the professor.
I'm still learning about those dudes.
Dude, they're excellent guys.
I love their record.
There's something, but
yeah, they'll be here in a couple months.
But just the first time we met them, at Texas Takeover, I remember having the conversation with Alex. I was like, bro, I was like, this night was destined. Like, we were meant to meet you for a reason, and because everything that came afterwards was just, we couldn't expect it. But I'll take it back to Kobe so he can explain the intensity.
So it was,
and actually his name is the real Daniel Ortiz.
That's an intensities tour joke.
So the bands on the tour were Chironix, you guys, Dreadland, and Project Ascension.
Yes.
So where is Dreadland from?
Dallas.
And Project Ascension?
Is from New Orleans.
Louisiana. Okay.
But our boys from Dreadland, from Dallas, though, like, mad fucking love. Those guys are
animals in their own
They're
right.
unexplainable, man.
Really?
Yeah. There's got so many ways you can say it.
So Dreadland guys, right? Dreadland from Dallas?
Yes.
Dreadland guys, if you're watching this interview tonight, send me your record. Send me your record.
We didn't know what to expect from those guys, Rob. Like, you have no idea, man.
Intensity started in California. Well, no, it started here in Texas.
Fucking Kerrville, dude.
It's just. Oh, we're not gonna get into that whole story, but we played one show with those guys, and that was on the Friends in Low Places. Yes. And then we talked about this tour between the three of us, and we got into a 15-passenger van. There was 14 of us.
14 motherfuckers.
Yeah. And so we were like, we're going from California all the way back. And so we went to Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and we went to Tempe, Albuquerque, and then we hit Amarillo, and we had 2 days off in Azle where the police were like ready for us to leave. That was great.
Which of those markets really stuck out?
Amarillo.
Really?
Amarillo went fucking hard.
Amarillo.
Really?
Atomic Yellow, the bands out there, the fans, like they were like,
you know why? Because they don't get shows like that very often.
Exactly. So they showed the fuck out. Like,
wow.
Mad love to them. And we had our 2 days off. And from there, we played in Houston. And then we went to Louisiana and we played Lafayette with Muscle. Badass dudes. Muscle's great. Muscle's great. They're all about lifting weights and smoking weed. They're pretty cool.
Wow.
And then
who does push-ups in a pit, though? Those fucking guys
Bunch of fucking Norwegian fucking
No, they're
fuckheads.
just fucking from here. Yeah, Cajun. And then we played New Orleans, and then we went to Dallas, and then we ended our show at Come and Take It Live in Austin.
Wow. Kobe, I remember once the tour concluded, I saw a post that you made, because we're friends on Facebook, and you said, I was born for this kind of shit. Why did you say that?
Man, there's just nothing that gets me higher.
But what happened the first 2 weeks?
Doesn't matter. This is what it's about, is getting on that stage and connecting with one person, 2 persons, 3, 4, 5, 50. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When I can hit that mic and when I get off that stage and you people approach me and you say, God damn, you're a monster of a vocalist. Like, I almost want to cry in front of you. Like, I'm not gonna be a fucking bullshitter. Like, that is the greatest compliment you can give any musician, is when you compliment them on what they're doing.
Right.
So
on their art.
When I get told that I could be the next Trevor Incarnate, like, what the fuck? Like, I can't touch shit like that. And that's what drives me. Because I know what I'm doing and what we're doing is substantial.
Yeah.
You know?
Daniel's got a story in regards to somebody walking up to him at a show and telling them, straight out, he says, your music, Cerebral, the whole entity of what y'all got, actually saved my life. And told Daniel that right after we did a performance in Austin at Kick Butt Cafe. You remember that, Daniel?
Oh, that was right after Texas Takeover, too. We were fucking...
We were on point. We were on fire. We played 7 shows in a row and then played that show, and we were just
He made a point to bring it up the other day in conversation. That's a moment that will stay with him forever, right?
Right, but I mean, those things are important, but also it's just the simple things, like Rob is saying like, oh hey, I like this Cerebral song, like that's it's the big, the small, the medium,
And the large.
yeah, it's a nothing, it's a something. Yeah, those things really keep us going.
Cool.
For sure. Yeah.
He's the most humble guy you'll ever meet.
Oh yeah.
I know. I can tell. Going on a tour like this outside of the state
14 days.
is an endeavor, and of course, you have to, not only put in all your love and time and effort, both emotionally and financially into that kind of endeavor. But at the same time, you're putting yourself in front of new people and cities and markets. Why is that important to you? Why to put yourself in front of new people? And is that the goal?
Always. If you haven't heard us yet, like, bucket, why not? Like, and give me your honest feedback. Like, I'll take anything. You could tell me I fucking suck. I don't care.
Yeah.
You could tell me I'm the best in the world and like greatest. Like, yeah, I will care because it's this type of shit that feeds me, Everything. So when people lose their mind to what we're doing, or they just are like, I've heard every band in the world, and then I hear you play, and I'm lost.
Like, we're
in
from
the sauce.
Texas, motherfucker.
Damn right. And we're here to kick some fucking doors down. Like, I don't care if you're not asking for me. I'm gonna show up, and that's what that tour was. It was intensity to the fullest, and Dreadland, Chiron X, us, and Project Ascension. That's what we brought every night on that tour.
Yeah.
We literally pushed each other to be like, don't slack, get up there and fucking
Throw down.
kill it.
I saw in the culmination video that you guys would like even share the stage together at the end of the shows, right?
Yes.
That was cool.
The brotherhood that came from that.
Yeah.
It was instant.
Yeah, the brotherhood that came from that show is something that me, being in the industry for as long as I have, 40 years doing this, I'm just gonna say what we started from to where we finished. Every band just transpired into something very beautiful. Those bands got that much better. Everybody was pushing each other, making each other. We hated going after the last band. Every band was like, God damn, I gotta follow that. I mean, that was that intense.
Man, I'm about to bring
Yeah,
this shit.
so
that's. I feel like that's a lost art in a way, like amongst touring acts. Like, go out there and prove why the band after you has to fucking bring it. Because if you're not bringing it, if you're not trying to, like I said, kick you in the teeth,
Yeah.
then what are you doing?
Well, it's a
goes back to what I
friendly
was telling you.
competition, and I think that just makes you fucking
it's healthy.
Like, it's healthy. Like,
it's
hey,
not me talking
let's
shit
go
in
out
any
there
way.
and throw
It's just
down
like,
our fucking
yeah,
way.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
total tomato. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I follow you guys on social media, and I've seen that you guys have some big shows coming up. Talk a little bit
man.
about that.
Shit.
And I'm talking about like this summer, like
Yeah,
big shows.
June 28th, we're opening, or we're part of the second stage for the Carnifex and Suffocation tour.
Yeah.
That's coming through for the Hell Follows Us tour. That's a fucking
27th.
Yeah, 27th. Sorry, you're right. It is Friday the 27th. We have a show the 28th with the other band. Sorry, my fault. Drinks. So the 27th, it's a Friday here in San Antonio. We'll be opening up and being a part of the package for the Carnifex and Suffocation show. Devourment.
Carnifex, man. Wow.
Yeah. You can hit us up for tickets. Of course, we're still selling them and stuff. So reach out to the band or any of our personal profiles. We'll get you taken care of. And then after that, we're doing a free show the 4th of July weekend in Dallas. And then after that, at the end of the month, we'll be playing at Rip Coffee, which is Billy Milano's place. We'll be playing there with a 3-band night. It's just us, Nevelum, and Bannerlord.
That should be cool.
Yeah, Rob O'Brien will be a part of those 3 shows.
Yeah.
And then following after that, at the end of August, we're opening up for I Hate God and Crowbar at Come and Take It Live. And that's when Alex Davis jumps into
Yeah,
the mix.
nice.
That's as far as we've got announced.
Yeah.
Other than that, I know we are planning a full-on U.S. tour next year. No name on it or what cities yet, but it's going to be 30 fucking days. Probably like 24 to 26 shows. Either way, we're going up East Coast. We might even play some Canada and come back down and hit the West Coast.
And this is just a Cerebral
It's
headline?
Cerebral and probably Chironex. That's our touring buddies. Like, we work together and push each other to be the best that we all can be.
Yeah.
So that's like our bros. Like, we're going on tour Scars of the Flesh next week.
Yeah.
And that's with Chironex as well. So those guys are becoming Cerebros in their own right.
Yeah.
Because we work so well together and we push each other.
It's also cool too, like to be on tour with people that you trust, because we live in a crazy world, bro.
Oh, dude.
Fucking trust is important.
Trust and support.
You don't want to be out there with fucking motherfuckers you're not friends with.
Should have seen these guys out there on tour. Dreadland, Chironex. These guys would tune your guitars. I mean, all the equipment in and out of the place. Like Robert O'Brien was just that sixth man out there on that tour.
Yeah.
But the brotherhood that came from that tour was just intense. And now to be able to do more endeavors with them with these new tours is just amazing.
For sure.
I anticipate the shit out.
Yeah. That's great, guys.
But the crazy thing about the intensity in 10 cities, because it was intense, because our van broke down the first day. So 22 hour drive straight to LA from Curva, where our van broke down. But
Colin and I are like this.
I don't know how you
We're
guys, I don't know how
napping.
you guys do it.
I'm not even
But,
exaggerating.
but
I don't know how you guys do it.
well, dude, we were a well-oiled machine, man. After the first few shows, like it was an army. After every band finished, it's just a swarm of us. We come to stage, gear comes off, the new gear comes on, and it's just like, we had it nailed, you know, and it was like you couldn't ask for anything better, because you're like, oh, where's this? Oh, you don't have to worry about nothing, because everything that you need, it's coming to you, because we're all working together, and
I heard somebody from the crowd say, "I've never seen a band get off stage so fast." Like, we got our shit. I heard somebody say that. We got our shit together.
If you hadn't gotten off stage so quickly, it would have been a tragic setback.
Yeah, it woulda. It definitely woulda. Oh Lord, we don't need none of those,
Let's talk about videos now, because videos are very, very important in this day and age. I've seen the video for Suffer and Bliss. It's just kind of like an audio with the artwork, right? With the artwork in the back. Yeah. Anything else that you guys have planned for video support for Empty Black?
I think eventually, once we accumulate the funds that we want to do another kind of Ghost to Me music video where it's a full like live band and a whole production and shit.
Yeah.
So if we do, we're gonna probably do a music video for Empty Black, the actual title track. Suffer and Bliss, that little like lyric video that we put out was just to make sure that we had something different than just it.
And it was on that platform, on the YouTube platform. Yeah. And again, I mean, it was a great way to showcase that artwork. I love that Dewey artwork for Suffer and Bliss. It's just so cool, I just love it.
He asked me, he was like, why am I drawing this? Like, and when I told him what I wanted, because I like that whole image I described to him. Like, no bullshit. And he was like, why am I drawing this? What's going on? And I said, look, like Suffer and Bliss is kind of like the imprisonment of our existence. So it's like we suffer to be happy. Like our cell phones were lost in the mix, Before that, I the way I relate it to like history is like the Native Americans, when they basically trusted the Europeans that came over here and they lost their land over it. They suffered in bliss because they thought they were going to be happy, but they really weren't, And that's kind of like what society is now. Like we're all fake happy. Tell me I'm wrong. Like we're suffering in bliss and no one's saying shit about it. And that's what that song's about, is because the screens that control what we believe really manipulate your perspective of life.
Yeah.
And so people are happy staring at their screen.
Yeah, all our perceptions create our own reality.
Yes.
Yeah. We live in crazy, crazy, crazy times. Okay, guys, as we get near the end of this interview and closer to my smoking bliss, I have to ask you, and I sometimes I hate to ask this question because I'm supporting a record, but I know you guys have kind of shared. Is there new music on the way?
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
So it'll be a minute, but with David doing what he needs to do to take care of his personal life and shit, and that's the thing about us, like that. This is our brother. No matter what aspect David's a part of the band, he's still behind the scenes, like sharing it and being a part of it. Like he may not be on stage, but he's fucking there. Like so. Our thing is to just keep the machine moving. So yes, there's gonna be new music. There's gonna be a new record. We're not gonna do an EP. We're gonna do a full length.
Wow!
And the two guitarists who are filling in, we got Robert Bryant and Alex Davis. Right. We both gave them permission to write a song in the format of Cerebral.
Wow!
As a thank you, if they want to, it's an option to them. But both those guys seem enthusiastic about it. So we're going to let them both kind of influence a song of ours. And while Dave is doing his thing, we'll write a few songs. And when he comes back, he'll have something new to learn while also introducing us to what he's wrote.
Right.
And so our goal is within 2 years to have a whole brand new full length.
Wow.
All new songs. We're not going to do singles. We might do a few. But ultimately, like, all of that shit's coming out at the same time.
And I have to say that it's a wonderful plan because as a band, you always have to continue to be producing new material.
Yeah.
I tell my boys, I said, look, we got to be interviewing, we got to be working, we got to be delivering new bands to our audience. So we're always working in producing new material.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to continue to do that, man. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So I want to say, like, Joe. He hasn't spoken much during the interview, but he has such a strong presence. Well, he's back there, so it's difficult. If he was chilling, boys. Yeah, but he's not speaking, but he speaks through his music writing.
Sure.
So he has a ton of ideas. We've already started doing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And he puts them in print.
Yep.
We've heard them. The quiet voice back here.
He's a busy mind.
Is one of the most prominent voices.
Sure.
In
creative
instruments.
voices.
Right. So he's not saying much back there, and he's chilling, but he is one of the biggest voices in Cerebral. So yeah, there's stuff coming.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Honest.
We've covered so much ground tonight.
You don't even know the stories of the
Oh, man. I'll be stroking.
We don't have that much time. So what I want to do as we end out, and I want to start from David going this way, is I just want to give everyone a quick opportunity to say any thank yous or share any love to people in their lives who have helped them along their musical journey. So go ahead, David.
At the forefront, I want to thank my family for forever supporting me in this journey from the very first time I picked up the bass guitar to grabbing my first BC Rich Warlock guitar and going on from there. So it's been a 40-year journey for me to this point, and I want to thank them, my family, my wife, my daughter, my brothers in this band, because if it wasn't for them, I would not be able to even get Cerebral out and get the creation that we've been able to portray with all the people that enjoy our music. So thank them. And while I am here, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you, Senor, for having me for the second time here. It's an honor and a privilege for myself. It's something that I take to heart, no tears, something that I'll always take to heart. And I appreciate the opportunities you've given my band, my brothers, and myself to be able to walk into your humble abode here, bro. Thank you.
Just like my primo Rick said, we're fans, bro. We are fans of Cerebral. That's why you're here.
Hell yeah. Big shout out to my boy Justin Ritchie. He's kind of a secret member of Cerebral in a way. No one's ever seen his face or know who he's about, but he's a backer of us. He believes in our image. So mad love to him. We'd be in a bunch of different precarious situations without him. So mad love. And then, of course, to any fan that has picked up our shit, saw us live, lost your shit to us. You don't even have to buy nothing. Just the fact that you headbanged. That is payment enough in multiple ways. Like, that's what we're about. We're about bringing what we represent and what we feel to a live audience, but also bringing it with a ferocity that you can't deny.
Yeah.
So, mad love to all our fans and everybody who constantly follows us, everybody who buys tickets, everybody who likes, comments, follows, all that shit. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We cannot exist without you. So please find our Bandcamp, find our Facebook, find our Instagrams. Fuck it, I'll make a TikTok eventually. Like, I'll do it. But for now, like, find that shit and follow us and believe in what we're delivering, because we're not fucking around.
Shout out to my wife, my beautiful wife, my kids, to my homies here, my brothers here, always supporting each other, making music with me, and letting me express my life, my feelings through music, and letting be part of this. So thank you so much to you guys. Thanks Rob MetalWorks for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us. Everyone out there, fans, family, thank you so much. Yep, all that good shit. Let's crack one open.
I want to thank Miss Jackson, like Outcast said, because I couldn't have done it without her, and that was a phenomenal save. You know who you are, but I want to thank my parents, my father. I wouldn't be here without them, and then I want to thank the guys from Cerebral. Like I love these guys like no other, man. Like, these guys are my brothers. They're my family. I see them more than anybody else, and I still don't see them enough. But
I think he still walks into practice.
That's why I asked you tonight.
No, he still walks into practice, and he walks in and he just...
But yeah, thank our fans. Thank everybody that supports us. That's got us on every tour that we've been on. Thank you, everything.
Mad love to all the bands we've played the stage with, for real. And you know who I'm talking about, the ones that really connect with us, want to say
Bruca.
our names. Bruca. Like, I could go down a list. I'm not about to. Neville, yeah, I'd be here all night. But the bands that we play with, and they show the same love that we're giving them, because we'll always stand forefront for our showmates forever. Because what's the fucking point? All ships rise with a rising sea. So everybody talks about a scene and everything else, and I think that San Antonio has a very deep brotherhood, but it's not represented vocally and amicably enough. So everybody, let's band together and show them what the fuck we're about.
Yeah.
And lastly, I want to thank you, Rob, because I've been wanting to be on your show as long as I can remember, and I miss
29 years tomorrow.
29 years.
What the fuck, dude?
But I missed 2020, and it's a pleasure to be a part of 2025. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
No tears, guys.
No tears. Not yet.
I'll be stroking.
Gordon said to cry all the tears.
Thank you guys so much for being here this evening. We've had a great start, a great medium, and a great ending.
Big time.
And we're going into overtime now, baby. Yeah, so somebody break out some weed here in a little bit.
It's about to happen.
It's about to go down. And we're about to... Yeah, the unseen is about to go down. And, like I said earlier, my crew and I, we're just big fans of Cerebral. Not only the music, but the people behind this band. I've known you guys for a while, and I think one of the most things that one of the greatest things that I appreciate about you guys is just your integrity for your music that you produce and your place in our metal scene. And there's a lot of bands out there who could learn from you about how to conduct and be an integral, positive part of our scene. And that's why I love you guys so much, man. So I just wish you guys anything but the best. Please keep me informed.
Always.
Send me the
You'll
new
have the
music
new record.
when
You'll have
it comes out.
You will have it before anybody else.
Because I can't talk about Cerebral if I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Damn right.
As we go into our final year, we're going to do one more interview before I'm done. Oh, yeah. Yeah, one more.
Dude. All right. Hey, I will do whatever you want, sir. You want a show? We'll be part of it. Doesn't matter where you want us on the lineup. We'll fucking open it. I don't care. We'll be a part of it. On top of that, any get-togethers, the Cerebrals are going to show up. So any invite, we're welcome, brother. We love you, man.
Julian Cruz is trying to talk me into doing a final go-away show.
You should. You fucking should.
No.
You fucking should. Hey, you don't got to do nothing. Yeah. You don't got to do nothing but sit back, dude, and enjoy it. And, handpick who you want on there. It doesn't, even if it's not us, I'll be there. I'll be there. No, I'm serious. I'll be there as a fucking fan and a friend. But if you want us, I'd be stroking. But if you want us, we'll be there regardless of whatever you decide, because we respect the shit out of your legacy and what you are to this city. So thank you, Rob. For real.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks, Rob. It's been one of the when I release the new logo tomorrow, one of the things is just 30 years of fortitude. And if you look up the definition of that word, fortitude means there was a lot of pain and sacrifice that kept Rob's going in the early days. It was difficult.
Just like being in a band.
Just like being in a band.
It's the fucking grind.
Just like being in a band.
But who else has done what you've done, man? You're a staple.
Access to fucking social media.
Just don't call me a podcast. I'm not a podcast.
Nah. You're an establishment of San Antonio.
And the thing is too, we never did any component of Rob's was never for money. We never did anything for money. Never. We just did it to support the bands that we were fans of. If you're on Rob's, I'm a fan of your band, and that's the way that it's always been, and that's the way that it'll always be. And that's something that I'm very happy about. And the fact that I've had my boys here, JB and Rick, have been part of my crew for 15 years. 15 years, damn, those guys. Right there,
Y'all
JB.
should. Y'all should. 29 years,
I
y'all
showed
should.
pictures.
Come on. Pop your face in there.
But yeah, it's crazy. But I'll release a statement in next June, and it'll be nice, and life will go on in San Antonio and in the San Antonio metal scene. But thank you guys so much. I know you're not leaving yet. We're gonna have a great time in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna have some more drinks and some more smokes and a good time. So everybody out there, I know we're getting lost in our little conversation here, but don't forget the premise of our conversation tonight was in support of the band's latest release. Cerebral Desecration released Empty Black earlier this year in February. Be sure to look for it. Go get it right now. Jam it. All my people outside of Texas and the United States, look for it, because Texas metal fucking rocks right now.
And we're coming for that chon chon.